Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at the energy of your counterpart in whatever soul connection you're curious about. And we're going to be seeing if your person is aware of this soul connection with you or not. And we're also going to see what actions they will be taking towards you in the near future. So there's 4 readings for you guys to choose from today, and I wanted to try something a little different with this reading. So instead of using crystals, I have put some tea lights in different shaped glasses. So please choose whichever one you feel drawn to. I'm not going to pick them up, but we have number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones. So if you chose this tea light, this is going to be your reading. So the way I want to do this reading is first to see our yes or no answer to the question of does this person feel the connection or not. Then we will see how they are currently feeling for you, and then finally see the progression of events between the two of you so that we can see what actions they're going to be taking in the future. All right, so let's get started. Your first cards are No in reverse and within the next few months. Okay, so we actually already have a time frame coming up for you guys. Let's look at this card first. I do think it is significant that we have a no in reverse instead of just a straight yes. It kind of makes me feel like they do feel it, but they're like denying it or they're blocking it somehow. Like this would be them saying no, 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 when in reality it's not a no, it's a yes. There is a connection here. This could be something that's kind of mutual. Like for example, on their end, they may be trying to block out or deny the connection. Maybe on your end, you are very doubtful of it. So in a way you are saying like, no, this can't be true. Maybe this is in my head. I feel like this is both of you kind of saying no. And you can see the angel is here. There's angels up here as well, trying to help you see the truth, trying to help you see the messages that they're sending you. And I think there is some resistance on both ends, and that's why, you know, it's coming out like this. They're saying it's not a no. It's not no, it's a yes. Just say yes. That's kind of the message that I'm feeling with this card. But we have this card within the next few months, and this to me, like with the staircase leading up to the temple here, this does look like, I guess, your finish line, so to speak, or your final destination, finally reaching where you need to be. So I think that this time frame within the next few months is referring to a union, a coming together. So don't be too like discouraged by this energy right now. I think that the person you're asking about will come around and they will embrace the connection for what it is. So for the next cards, let's see how they are feeling about you. We have Yin Yang and Strategy. Okay, so definitely the person you're asking about has noticed that you have this very special compatibility together. I think the way that you guys have gotten along or the way that you have understood this person is very unlike what they have experienced with other people or with other partners. This card does kind of give me a twin vibe, and we also have an angel number 22 here. Perhaps both of you have been seeing this number or repeating numbers, kind of signs and synchronicities coming up, but then you're quick to dismiss them. It's funny, it was 333 on the timer when I said that. Like, oh no, it's not a sign, it's just in my head, like this can't be true. I do feel like this is a mutual energy going on, but what they have noticed is that it's like the two of you are so different and yet it just works. It's like your differences complement each other a lot. Like you're two sides of the same coin. I think they have noticed that like and it's really stuck with them. Like, how can this person be so different from me and also so similar at the same time? Or why, why do we clash so much and yet it feels so familiar? It's like this kind of thing. And then we also have this strategy card, and this makes me think that they've been wanting to reach out or wanting to come forward to you, and explain how they're feeling and all that, but they feel like they need a more solid plan. They feel like they really need to plan out exactly what they're going to say, and like this, like have a strategy about it, the way they're going to go about talking to you, which is probably just a matter of them overthinking, because it would be best to just approach you naturally and let things flow and just say exactly what's on their mind. So from this card, I'm getting a little bit of nervous energy, like they want to make sure that they say everything perfectly and they don't mess it up. So you definitely are important to this person, and maybe that's why on some level they're pushing it away, because they don't want to mess it up, or they don't want to get their hopes up, or it's that sort of thing where like you can't lose something that you never had, like this kind of thing. So maybe that's why they're pushing it away. And then maybe that's also why you're doubting it on some level, because you don't want to get your hopes up about this. Yeah, I see that sort of mirrored with the two of you. You might also resonate with this energy as well. Like you've been wanting to reach out to them, but like you want to make sure it's like at a good time. It doesn't seem like you just reached out of the blue. You want there to be like a reason or an occasion, so it doesn't look awkward. I feel like you're both overthinking, coming forward to each other quite a lot. So that being said, let's look at some tarot cards now to see the progression of events between the two of you. We have Eight of Swords, the Devil, the Queen of Cups, and Judgment. Okay. So interestingly, I noticed the number on these cards are going up, like 8, 15, 20. And I wanted to see if we could predict timing from the tarot cards. And I'm thinking that these numbers probably represent the number of weeks, because we have this card within the next few months. And if I think of 20 weeks, that's like 4 or 5 months, I believe. So, and Judgment, it represents awakening, it represents answering the call. So I think this could be talking about your guys, like your union, your coming together happening in 4 to 5 months from now. I think that could be it. So this kind of shows, I want to read them chronologically, so we can see what's going on. So we're starting here with the Eight of Swords, and I can definitely see from this card that the person you're asking about is holding back a lot. If you guys are not in communication, it's because they're holding themselves back from contacting you because of this here, like really, really overthinking, or thinking that they can't reach out to you, it's going to be too difficult, like really just blowing it out of proportion, because you can see it, this woman on the card is bound up, but it's actually self-inflicted. It's actually it's in her head. She's just too worried, she's too anxious, and she's sort of, I guess, creating more barriers than there needs to be, and that's kind of what I see them doing. So that could be something that continues for the next while, for the next couple months, like they're really holding themselves back. And if you guys are in communication, they might just be a little bit more reserved, a little bit cold, a little bit distant. Like you can kind of tell there's something that they're not saying, like, or something that they wish they could tell you, but they're not. So you'll probably get that vibe from them for the next little while. And yeah, we have the Devil following that. This makes a lot of sense as well, because this is a card about being consumed by negative thoughts or fear-based thoughts. So they're probably imagining all these scenarios where you know, they reach out to you and it doesn't go well. They say the wrong thing, they get rejected, or even worse, like you guys do end up together, but then they mess up the relationship and get their heart broken. It's like they're thinking of everything that could go wrong instead of everything that could go right, and probably being quite hard on themselves as well. But we have the Queen of Cups here, so in this space, like, I guess this would be like within the month or so before you guys finally come together. This shows an energy of them becoming much more connected to their intuition, and as a result being a lot more compassionate with themselves, not being afraid to be vulnerable. So probably something will happen in their lives to trigger this, where they realize, like, I have to stop being so hard on myself. I have to be more compassionate with myself. They might get advice from a friend or a loved one, or this could even be you, like, coming through to them energetically, because I do see that kind of strong connection between the two of you. It might be emotional and spiritual healing on your end that actually is a catalyst for their healing, because this is something that can and does happen a lot in these kind of soul connections. Like, you're helping each other's healing without realizing. It could be a combination of those things as well. Like, you're helping them energetically, and then maybe some people in their life are, you know, helping them feel better about themselves, and, you know, reaching a place where they have a really healthy relationship with their emotions, and they don't hold them back anymore. They don't hold themselves back from their own happiness anymore. So this is a really beautiful transformation happening, and it happens quite quickly, because this sort of negative space is dragged out for quite some time, and then all of a sudden, like, they're transforming really quickly. And this is actually something I see very often. The timer says 11:11 now. I was just gonna say, this is something I see very often with twin flames. Like, if there's one counterpart, let's say it's you, like, you're doing a ton of emotional work on your end. So you're sort of putting in the dirty work in that aspect, in the spiritual, emotional aspects, and that helps them do it on their end as well, but in an accelerated way. So you're, like, putting in the work here, and it accelerates for them. And then on their end, maybe they're putting in the really hard work in another aspect. For example, you know, career, creativity, success, material wealth, this kind of thing. They're putting in the work there, and then that propels you. But do you see what I mean? Like, each side is respectively putting in work, and then it speeds up the other side. And that's kind of what it looks like here, because it's like they're in this very dark sort of, you know, restrained, self-restrained energy, and then all of a sudden they become so kind and compassionate to themselves. I think that it's probably you coming through and giving them a hand, you know, energetically, spiritually, and just really softening them up, really, like, melting the ice around their heart. And it's really sweet to see. It's like they're stuck in the ground here, and then you're setting them free, setting them loose, so they can rise up to their calling, their awakening, their self-love, and then ultimately their union. Oh, how pretty. I love this. Yeah, so I would say right now it's a yes, but it's a weird yes, because it's being blocked, being, you know, suppressed, being doubted. But within the next few months, I'm thinking 4 to 5, because this looks like 20 weeks. I think everything is going to turn around for you guys. So yes, it's divine timing. Just hang in there and do focus on your healing, focus on your emotional healing, because that's going to help them on their end as well. Okay, so I'm going to end the reading there. Thank you very much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye! Hi, number 2s. So if you chose this tea light right here, this is going to be a reading. So how I want to do this reading is first to get the yes or no answer of if they feel this connection with you. Then we'll see how they're currently feeling about you, and finally see the progression of events between the two of you so we can see what actions they'll be taking in the future. Okay, so let's get started. For your first cards, we have There's Something Better in reverse, and Within the Next Few Weeks in reverse. So from these two cards, I'm not sure just yet if they are feeling a soul connection per se, like if they're feeling that strong of a connection. What I can say is that this person does have feelings for you. I feel if you guys chose this pile, I think that you guys have probably been in this connection, in this energy for quite some time. Because with this card, I'm kind of getting the feeling of like, you know, you guys were involved or you had feelings for each other. Maybe you were seeing each other and then you kind of drifted apart. And they've been trying to move on from you, or even trying to pursue relationships with other people. But through doing that, they've realized that it's just not the same without you, or it's just not the same with other people. Maybe they thought like there was something better out there, or that they could, you know, forget and move on, but it's proven to not be the case. I think it's sort of this feeling of, after all this time, they still feel this for you. They still think about you a lot. Now, within the next few weeks in reverse, I've never read a timing card in reverse, but I think this is talking about the past few weeks. Like if I think of the opposite meaning of a few weeks from now, like maybe the past few weeks they've been thinking about reaching out to you, or they've been thinking about telling you how they feel. So, you know, it's been a while since they've been thinking about this. So they're probably, you know, feeling a little scared, a little nervous to do it. There's something similar like that in pile 1 as well. A lot of your counterparts are quite nervous to come forward, or they just feel kind of awkward about it, or don't really know how to put their feelings together. So they've been kind of struggling with that for a while, or maybe this is showing for some reason in the past few weeks these feelings have been a lot stronger for them. Like maybe they thought they had moved on, and then in the past few weeks these feelings have just really been resurfacing for them, like they can't ignore them. So they are feeling something. I just don't know if they're feeling like a soulmate connection with you or anything so intense, but they definitely have feelings for you. So for your next card, we have Man Holding a Coin and Contract. Okay, so this man holding a coin, this is referring to the masculine energy of the connection. It doesn't matter what gender either of you are, but if they are the masculine energy of the connection, this card will mean that how they feel about you is that they want to provide for you, they want to support you, and they want to protect you. If you guys aren't in communication right now, they often wonder how you're doing. They hope you're doing well. They hope you are thriving and living your best life, and, you know, wish that they could be a part of that, you know, be involved and support you in that. And if they think about being together with you, it's like they think about giving you everything you could ever want, really taking on that provider role. And it's this feeling like they would be so proud if they could provide everything to you, and you would never have to like look anywhere else for something that you want or need. And then we have this contract card. So this is interesting. The contract is something that is binding. So now this is making me think maybe they do feel a connection, because it's like they feel bound to you. They feel connected to you in some way. If they are a spiritual person, maybe they would think of it as a soul contract. Like your souls have a contract together. You have some sort of ties together. If they're not spiritually aware like that, I think they still are picking up on something. Like, why do my thoughts keep coming back to this person? Why does this person keep appearing like in my dreams? Why are they still in my heart? And they feel there's something kind of curious about it, and maybe something, you know, something going on in that realm, even if they're not entirely sure what that means. Another thing that's interesting with the image on this card, you can see the girl is blindfolded, so the only way she can tell if this skill is balanced is just by like guessing intuitively or just getting a feel for it. So I am thinking a lot of you guys who chose this pile are not in communication right now, and it's like they have no way of seeing how you're doing, or they have no way of seeing if you're feeling the same, if you're going through the same thing, if you feel this too. They can't see that, so they just have to, you know, guess. They just have to see if they can feel your energy. They just have to get a feel for it. Maybe this is something you've been going through too, and you feel kind of helpless. Like, I don't know if this is even. I don't know if we're feeling the same thing. And so, yes, you are both feeling this. You're both feeling this connection to each other. So now let's look at the progression of events between the two of you. There's 7 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands in reverse, and the Page of Swords. Okay, so I wanted to also try to predict like timing of when the next development in this connection should be. So we have 7, 5, 5, and 6, and if we add this, it's 7. So we have like 5, 6, 7. So perhaps something's gonna happen in 5 to 7 days from when you're watching, or 5 to 7 weeks from when you're watching. Most of the cards here are faster moving energies, like the Swords and the Wands. These are faster, so I don't think it's going to be 5 to 7 months. I think for the majority of you, it's either days or weeks that we are talking about here. But let's look at this progression now. So this 7 of Swords tells me that the person you're asking about is they're still on the fence about it. I feel like there's some days where they really do believe in it, and they really do let themselves feel it. And then there's other days where they doubt it, and they even maybe kind of shut themselves down, or like try to, is it rationalize? Or, you know what I mean? Like, oh, stop, you're being ridiculous, or just get over it, you know? Like, you know, it's been so long, just forget about them already, or there's no way you could feel so strongly about someone that you were only with for such a short amount of time. Just trying to be logical about it, and kind of trying to shut themselves down, because this card is about deception, and it can be deception to other people, but also deception to yourself. Like, you're not being honest with yourself about how you truly feel. So when they say things to themselves like, oh, I'm over it, or like, that was so long ago, just get over it, they're lying to themselves, because they're not letting themselves really feel how they feel. And it does feel like they're kind of going back and forth, and maybe that's why, even though it's been a few weeks that they want to reach out to you, they haven't, because they are sort of doing this back and forth. They're like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna reach out, and then they're like, no, that's stupid. And it's been kind of going on like this for them. And we have the 5 of Pentacles, so this does show a loneliness. This shows that they miss you. So if you guys are not in communication, which I think is most of you, they really miss seeing you and talking to you. But if you are in communication, perhaps it's that you guys were a lot closer in the past. Like, things were a lot easier between the two of you in the past, and they miss that a lot. They feel lonely, but they don't know how to tell you that without making it weird, or, you know, like they're a little bit scared to tell you that. But after this, we have the 5 of Wands in reverse. So this card in the upright, it is about conflict. So I think in the reverse, this is them sorting through their inner conflicts and really getting their feelings straight. If you look at this, like, imagine this is inside of your head. There's like 5 dudes like with wands, and they all are like beating around your brain saying different things. I feel like this is what the inside of their head is like. You know, on one hand they're like, oh, I still really feel for them, I want to reach out, and then this guy's like, what are you talking about? Like, they've probably already moved on from you. And then this guy's like, who cares? Just go for it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? And so they're all, you know, arguing like this inside their head. And so I think that finally they're going to work out that inner conflict and come to a conclusion. And that conclusion that we have is the Page of Swords. So to me, this is really indicative of communication because of the swords. So you can expect this person to reach out to you, to contact you in 5 to 7 days or 5 to 7 weeks from now. I know that that's kind of a wide range, but it is a general reading. So like shortest is going to be a week and longest is going to be like a month and a half. But yes, this is communication for sure. Now, because it is the page, I don't think it's going to be any like serious communication. You know, I don't think they are necessarily going to come forward and confess everything that they've been feeling, everything that they've been going through. Because the page, he or she in this deck, is, you know, the youngest and more of like a light-hearted sort of energy. So they might just reach out and be like, hey, how have you been? Or maybe if they want to be extra nonchalant about it, they might comment on something and just hope that that's going to spark up a conversation. But the point is that there is going to be contact from your person. And also the energy of the Page of Swords in a love connection, it is a connection that starts from friendship and then sort of grows into romance later. So I think that what you guys will probably be doing first is just rekindling like the friendship between the two of you, getting back on regular speaking terms, sort of like starting over from the beginning, but doing it right this time, because now they know, they know what you are. No, they know what you mean to them. There we go. They know what you mean to them. They know how valuable this connection is with you, because it's not everybody who can make them feel like this. And so they're not going to, you know, try to fight that anymore. They're not going to have this inner conflict anymore, because they're going to be straightforward. They're going to be honest with themselves. So no more of this deception either. Yes. So... ooh, it looks good for you guys. I'm excited. So I'm going to end this reading here. Thank you very much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Hi, number 3s. So if you chose this tea light, this is going to be your reading. So how I want to do this reading is first to get the yes or no answer for you of whether or not this person feels the connection. Then we'll see how they're currently feeling about you. And then finally, we'll see the progression of events in your connection so we can see what actions they'll be taking in the future. So let's get started with your first cards. There's Meditation Brings Answers and Don't Stop. Okay, so for this pile, the person you're asking about hasn't figured it out quite yet, but they are well on their way. If we look at this card, the Meditation Brings Answers, it looks like that your person is going through some sort of awakening right now, or they're starting to, you know, turn more to spiritual practices, maybe taking a more spiritual approach to life. And they could literally, as the card says, be practicing meditations, visualizations, you know, trying to get in touch with their intuition and their higher self. And with this card, Don't Stop, next to it, the way I'm interpreting this is like, you know, as a natural progression of things as they continue to deepen their spiritual knowledge, as they continue to learn how to receive messages from their intuition, from their guides. It's just going to be only natural that they do discover about this soulmate connection with you. So like I said, they're not quite there yet, but I don't think it's anything to worry about, because it looks like they are on a very productive journey for them. They're on a very important journey. Perhaps they've gotten into this kind of thing like more for personal reasons, like for healing, for finding inner peace, for example, and not so much to find out like who is my soulmate or where is my soul family. Maybe they're kind of doing it for other reasons right now. And as they go along, they'll start to get into soul connections and things like that. But they're sort of not, I feel like they're not really looking for the connection right now. It may be something that they stumble upon as a result of a meditation or a spiritual practice, but it doesn't seem to be the purpose. It doesn't seem to be their purpose right now. Okay, so let's look at some more cards. So for how they're feeling about you, Angel of Love and 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. So this is the third eye chakra. So this has to do with, your intuition and psychic insights. So this is kind of funny now that I see these cards, because of course they're both very spiritual. They're talking about angels. Probably in this person's meditations and spiritual practices, or maybe even in their dreams, they have actually already encountered your higher self. And they see you as this very beautiful, loving energy. And I think what may have happened is that it's not right to say they've mistaken you for a guardian angel, because you could very well be that to them. Your higher self could be a guide to them. But they don't realize that it's you, or that you are somebody in the physical. Does that make sense? It's like they've encountered your higher self. They feel your loving and protective energy, but they haven't connected the dots that this is a human in the physical, and that this is somebody who's actually going to come into their life. I think a lot of you who chose this pile may be in one of those situations where you are connected in the 5D but not in the 3D. Like you can feel each other's energy, but you haven't met in the physical yet, because that happens quite often. It's totally possible. But if that's not the case for you, and you are in communication or have met in the physical, then this is just a matter of them having encountered your higher self and feeling so much love, and they just haven't put 2 and 2 together that this is you. But they'll get there. They will get there. And what a beautiful revelation that would be, because I feel so much love looking at these cards, and I think they felt very safe, comfortable. They felt watched over. Probably you've experienced this if you've ever been in a meditation or a dream and you encounter a guardian angel. It's just like this pure unconditional love. It feels like pure bliss. And like, how amazing is that for them to realize that this being they've encountered is actually a person who they're going to get to, be with and spend their life with. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you guys. Okay, so let's look at the tarot cards now to see the progression of events between the two of you, and if they're going to be taking any actions towards you in the future. So there's the Tower in reverse, 10 of Swords, 4 of Swords in reverse. Oh, sorry, this is in reverse too. I think I forgot to say. And the 3 of Cups. Okay, so from these cards, at least in the near future, I don't really see a union per se. What I do see is them coming out of their shell, being more communicative, being more outgoing and playful and friendly. So perhaps your relationship is developing, like you're starting to talk more, getting closer. It just doesn't look like a full-blown union yet. I have been looking at numbers of the cards to try to predict timing of things. These numbers kind of look all over the place though. But we have 4, 4. If you add this up, this is also 4. So we have 3 4s. So perhaps, I do think for this pile it would be 4 months, and I'll explain why that is. So maybe in 4 months from now, you guys are going to start getting closer, maybe develop a better friendship, start hanging out, start talking a lot more, and they're going to be a lot more expressive and communicative with you. The reason I think it's going to be 4 months rather than like 4 days or 4 weeks is because there is a lot of heavy energy going on over here. And these cards to me kind of confirms that their motivation, their reason for starting this sort of spiritual path was for healing and to find peace of mind, because I think that the person you're asking about has been through a lot. The Tower card in reverse, in a love reading, I often read this card as like the person you're asking about just cannot, like a relationship or, you know, starting a new relationship is not even on their radar right now because they're just going through so much. They have so much else on their plate right now. Maybe a lot of unexpected things came up, a lot of turbulence, a lot of, you know, traumatic events, because the Tower is very, you know, jarring, unexpected sort of energy and being really uncertain about the future. So I think they're kind of going through it right now at the time that you are watching this. And so they're not really thinking about being in a relationship. But what's really beautiful is that even if, you know, you can't be together in the physical right now, your higher self and you sending loving thoughts to them is actually, you know, helping them navigate this this troubling time, helping them get through it and helping them recover. So you're already with them and already supporting them and loving them on a soul level. And I just think that's so beautiful. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse as well. So this card to me, it's like, you know, they're recovering, they're coming up from sort of a rock bottom kind of situation. Like if you look at this, so many swords in his back, it's sort of this energy of, you know, for them, it's just been one thing after another. And just when they thought that they could, you know, take a breath and they could be okay for a minute, it was like something else came and stabbed them in the back. And I think that they've just had, their energy has been quite depleted. I also think maybe they were going through a lot of karmic lessons. I do tend to read this Ten of Swords as karma. So this is sort of what they're clearing away right now. They may be more in sort of an introverted energy right now, keeping more to themselves and being, you know, really being reflective, trying to heal wounds from the past. And this is also a really positive thing, because even though your union may take a bit longer, we can see really clearly here that when you guys do come together romantically, they're going to have cleared all of this negativity away. They're going to be in a much better place. They're going to love and accept themselves fully, be really sure of who they are. And that is like all the ingredients for a beautiful, healthy relationship. So I think that by the time you guys do get together, you're going to have minimal problems, you know? Sometimes we see these connections where, you know, people have their union, but then they clash and they come apart, and it's this on and off sort of thing. But because they're properly taking the time, clearing this energy away and really putting in the inner work with your help, of course, it's just going to be so much smoother when you do come together in the physical. So don't be discouraged by this taking longer. When it comes to healing, you cannot rush these things. Like, it's good to take as much time as you can and really be patient with yourself and be really, really kind to yourself. And I think that that is what they're doing right now. And they're definitely on the right path with it. So after this, we have the Four of Swords in reverse. This is actually a good card to be in the reverse, because in the reverse position, it indicates a recovery, like getting back out there, things starting up again. In the upright, as you may know, it's like a pause in action. It's a standstill, taking a break. So I think that's the current energy, and we see them coming out of this in the future, maybe in 4 months from now, because we have all of these fours. And then finally, as a result, it's like they're back to their happy, cheerful, bubbly self. They'll be a lot more social, a lot more inclined to, you know, go out and mingle and spend time with people that they like. And so I think you will notice like a significant difference. If you guys are in communication, you'll notice a significant difference in how they are approaching you and how they're treating you. Like suddenly they're a lot more talkative, they're a lot more friendly. Maybe they start initiating conversations with you a lot more and trying to get to know you better. And through doing that, it's really only a matter of time before they make the connection and realize like, oh my gosh, this loving energy that I was feeling, this beautiful energy that I was feeling with me, like, could it be that it's this person I'm talking to right now? And I'm so, like, I cannot wait for them to have this realization, because it's going to be so beautiful for both of you. Like, wow, this is really, I really like this story. So yeah, it's just a matter of time. Maybe you guys who chose this pile, you've already been waiting for quite some time, but please hang in there. Healing cannot be rushed, and I know that things are going to be so amazing between the two of you when you finally do come together. So just stay positive, keep sending your love, keep sending your energy to this person, because it is helping them. Okay, so I'm going to end the reading there. Thank you very much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye! Hi, number 4s. So if you chose this tea light right here, this is going to be your reading. So the way I want to do this reading is first to get the yes or no answer of whether or not this person feels the connection with you. Then we'll see how they're currently feeling about you. And then finally, we'll look at the progression of events in your connection to see what actions they'll be taking towards you. So let's get right into it. For our first cards, we have look for a sign and 1 year from now. I think you guys are going to be together a year from now. This feels like a connection that has been a long time coming. Either like in this lifetime, like you have known each other for a very, very long time and your full-on union hasn't happened yet, or even if you just met in this life, I feel like you guys have been looking for each other for many lifetimes, and it's kind of, yeah, it's a long time coming. Because if you look at this card, look at how many angels are involved. There's like, I feel like this is like your higher selves, and then these are like 4 guides or angels trying to figure out like how you guys are going to come together in this lifetime. Some of you guys might be in different countries with this globe here. That's not going to resonate for everybody, but I do feel like you guys are in separation if you chose this one, or like you're not romantically together right now. So as for whether or not they feel this is kind of sad. It feels kind of sad because I think they want to believe it, but they don't. So it's like this, I wish it were true. I wish that, you know, I was connected to this person in some way and that fate would bring us back together. And they may say things like, you know, guardian angels, if you're real, if you're out there, if this is my person, give me a sign. It's like they're looking for a sign because they want this to be true. They want some sort of comfort. Yeah, this feels sad. Like they want some sort of comfort that you're going to come back, or that you're going to be in their life, that you're going to be with them. But at the same time, they're not super hopeful about it. So I guess this would kind of be a no, but it's a weird one because it's like they want to feel it. They want to believe it. They're just having a hard time. They're having a hard time believing it. So let's look at the next cards for how they currently feel about you. Aww. Carrying connections and the garden and the gate. Yeah, this person cares about you a lot. I think when they think about you, it brings them a feeling of comfort. You know, it makes them feel warm and cozy on the inside. The way they think about you, like if they're imagining being with you, doing things with you, it's very romantic, it's very affectionate, it's very intimate, you know? Like this image here, they imagine holding you or giving you flowers, kissing you, being close to you. They think about you in this way, and they might catch themselves, you know, daydreaming about you a lot more than they would like to admit. Maybe catch themselves looking for signs a lot more than they would like to admit. And I think that the divine is giving them signs and synchronicities, but they're probably just, you know, saying, oh, that's all in my head, or I shouldn't believe in that kind of stuff. It's like they want to get their hopes up, but they don't want to get too hopeful. They're very conflicted about the whole thing. And that brings us to this card. This is a very interesting card. I actually just got this deck the other day, and I was reading the booklet about this card because it's not really one that you can so easily, I guess, intuitively guess what it means. So you can see this girl here. She's in a beautiful garden with flowers, and she has the key to this gate around her neck. So you can kind of read this in two ways, because on one hand, she's in this, you know, beautiful flowering safe haven. You know, she feels love, she feels comfort, but then at the same time, she's looking out on the other side of the gate to the hills. And so maybe your person is kind of thinking, you know, am I trapping myself in this connection? Or am I, you know, dumb for not trying to move on from this? Am I using this connection as a crutch or a way to cope with something? So they kind of have mixed feelings about it. If they should stay, you know, on the inside of this gate and stay in the garden, or if maybe the right thing for them to do is to open up the gate and go for the hills. And I feel like this is not to do with because of how they feel for you as a person, but just the way the circumstances are, because I do feel like most of you are in separation, that this has been going on for a while and you haven't really come together. So, you know, they don't want to, as beautiful as this garden is and as good as it makes them feel, you know, when they're thinking about these images with you, they don't want to, like, they don't want to stick around here if nothing's going to come of it, you know? They don't want to get their hopes up if this is not going to amount to anything. And I think, you know, a lot of us, we go through the exact same thing, right? We don't want to keep hoping for a connection if it's not going to happen. And so if it's not going to happen, we want a sign too. So I feel for them, like I understand what they're going through, and I think a lot of us have gone through this same thing. Maybe even you are going through something similar with this person, and you're mirroring each other. You know, it makes you so happy to think about them and think about being with them. It makes you so happy when you see a sign that confirms it, but maybe at the same time you wonder if it's time to leave this garden as beautiful as it is, because it just has been such a long time. I mean, we do have this card, but let's look at the tarot cards now to see what the progression of events between the two of you is going to be like. There's the Well in reverse, Six of Swords, Temperance in reverse, and the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so I've been trying to predict timing with the numbers on these cards, so let's just see what we have. I'm sorry about the glare there, that's annoying. So there's 4, if we add up 22, 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, 5. So like 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have a year from now for your full-on union. I do think that this is when your full-on union is going to happen. However, because we have all of this 3, 4, 5, 6, I think that in the next 3 to 6 months, a lot is going to happen in this connection. So let's look at the well in reverse first. In the upright for a love reading, I tend to read this card as one of those connections where like a lot of it is happening in 5D, like much more of it is happening on that level than in the physical. And that makes sense because it's exactly that kind of connection where you start to get into this mindset of like, this is like your beautiful 5D safe haven where your higher selves are together. And you get in this energy like, okay, I can't stay in this forever, you know, I do have to be grounded. I do have to be in the 3D and be a little bit like logical here. It's that kind of feeling. But then we got this in the reverse, and this is kind of funny. It's like your whole world is turned upside down. This well is like dumping out on you. Just this sudden like, whoosh, okay, you wanted to manifest this connection? Here you go. It's like your angels are being a little bit cheeky with you. Suddenly like bringing you guys back together, maybe kind of out of nowhere, like you weren't expecting to run into this person or to hear from them. But your next card is a 6 of Swords, and this card to me does indicate communication in a connection, and especially like some conversation or some talk that you have where afterwards you feel so much better about the connection. You feel so much better about where it's headed. Maybe you brought up some things that were a little bit hard to talk about, but it just feels so good to get them off your chest. And for me, it's like a conversation that just goes a lot better than you thought it would. You know, maybe you guys are like mutually holding back from reaching out because you're worried that it's not going to go well. But in the next 3 to 6 months, I think you guys are going to end up by chance in each other's lives again, in communication again, and have, as a result, have a conversation that just makes you feel so much better. Maybe you find out, oh my gosh, they've been thinking about me too, they've been missing me too. And you just come out of that talk a lot clearer about the other person's intentions and feelings. And, you know, with no more doubt, you don't need to look at signs anymore because you heard it directly from that person or you saw the evidence directly from them. So this is like a really nice breakthrough in this connection, I think. So after this, we do have the Temperance card in reverse. And so this can be a little bit frustrating. I have learned not to question the Temperance card's motives because honestly, it's just frustrating. This is a divine plan that requires a lot of patience and a lot of faith. And when it comes to partnerships and unions, they are, like, we're kind of getting this message a lot. They are connections that take a lot of time because there's so much to learn. And like, look at this card. It is sort of this big elaborate plan. And I feel like you're getting so much done, like not just within the context of the relationship, but in your growth as individuals and your soul mission and your purpose. I feel like it's all intertwined, it's all woven in. So it's a very elaborate plan to really realize all of your dreams in this life. It's like all in one big package. So there's a lot of detail that goes into it. There's a lot of divine planning. And so you might have this conversation and think, oh my God, like we're on the same page. We're going to start a relationship now. And the divine's like, not yet. Which like they just have a little bit more, maybe a little bit more inner work. Maybe you guys are in a long distance connection, but there's just something, the divine's like, I just have a few more finishing touches to put on this. But what is good about you guys having this communication is that in the meantime, so this is like the 6-month mark to the a year from now mark, in that time, you're not going to let go of each other. So you're going to feel safe to be in this garden because now you know definitely that it's leading somewhere. You've gotten confirmation from the other person and now you're okay to wait it out. And I think this wait is not even going to feel that long for you guys. Because the garden is very beautiful and now you don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to doubt the validity of you being there or think that it's a mistake. you'll just have the most beautiful like confirmation that this is going somewhere. And if it's just a matter of waiting, then that's like, it's a piece of cake for you guys. So you're gonna hold on tight to it. I have a deck with where the Four of Pentacles is like a dragon guarding her treasure. And so I always think of it now when the Four of Pentacles comes out, because it's like, you found your treasure and you know this is yours and you know how valuable it is. So you're gonna guard it. You're gonna guard it no matter how long it takes. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute for this connection. Wow. But you guys are going to get your answers. You're going to get your confirmation. You're going to get your reassurance that this is it. You're on the right path. And everything's going to come together. Everything's going to come together. Like I said, this plan, there's a lot more involved in it than just the relationship. This is realizing so many dreams all tied up into one. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to end the reading there. Thank you very much for letting me read for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.